this is D'Angelo Wallace's the predictable fate of Andrew Tate banned in real life video. It's a really good video, and I kind of want to watch all of it, but we're just gonna look at like the sad testimonials of his course, I think, on Hustlers University.
Now, at first, it might seem like Andrew Tate at this point was getting all of the fame, but none of the money. Sure, his name was raking in the views, but none of these views were actually on his account. But if you feel sorry for him, then I have great news. He was still directly profiting off of his newfound audience by just getting them to give him money. See, this Tate mania was funneling a massive wave of new fans into his online courses, chief of which is Hustlers University. But HU actually wasn't Andrew's first foray into the world of completely unnecessary online courses. He actually has this old one that he called his PhD program, and it's terrible. Not even just the content, the course itself barely even qualifies as a course. It's basically just a rant.
I'm not gonna break it down to little videos. What I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna lay down some knowledge for the next long time.
And look, if you
That's Ty Lopez. He was literally copying Ty Lopez. Oh my God. 100%.
are going to make one really long video, then I do think it should at least be somewhat structured. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be a D'Angelo Wallace video, but you got to at least put some effort into it.
I actually went out of my way and bought a whiteboard. That's some genuine effort.
Oh, okay, never mind, there's a whiteboard. So I was already wary about spending any amount of time at all on this course, but I wanted to see if he was offering anything different than his usual awful takes on women. And for a moment, I thought I was going to be surprised.
You are not going to be successful with girls if you hate girls. You need to get that shit out of your head.
But of course, even when he was almost correct, he was still completely wrong, because this entire course is just him self-reporting the manipulation tactics he uses to ensnare women.
You can put yourself in the right position so that the rules of the game favor you, then you should be very happy women think a particular way.
Women are good actually, because you can easily manipulate them, is pretty much on par with the same harebrained takes I heard in all of his interviews, so I didn't even bother looking at the rest of the course since it was obviously just a desperate cash grab from a man who can't even get through a single mock date with a woman, by the way. That Dunning-Kruger pack hits different.
Should charge double for this shit.
And how much was he charging? Well, before he removed the course from his website, $419 US. But hey, at least it was discounted from 900 bucks. Anyway, despite being trash and currently unavailable to buy, the PhD program was clearly a viable business model. Andrew Tate would go on to unveil his other course, Hustlers University. But then he shut down Hustlers University and rebranded it and relaunched it as The Real World. So the topic of The Real World, or HU, or whatever you want to call it, is a little bit different from the PhD program. This time, you won't be learning how to get the girls. You will be learning how to get the bag. The Real World is a financial education course where Tate and his hired help will reveal the secrets of wealth creation. Never seen that offered by an influencer before. But the Real World is different, you see. It's not just a learning platform. It's also a community where an alleged 200,000 members get together to make friends, offer help, and celebrate those W's. And as it turns out, this community is actually why Andrew Tate is popular right now. This is where all of those Tate clips were coming from. See, back when it was Hustlers University,
I'm just saying, this is a very well sourced and very well thought out video that came out 8 days ago. Just remember, it took me 3.5 seconds of looking at Andrew Tate's entire shtick to recognize what he is saying right now. Literally, I found out about Andrew Tate. I saw the Hustlers University shit. I recognized that it was a multi-level marketing scheme, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's the reason why they're doing it. And I've been saying it for like a year now. So sometimes I do get things right. Just remember that, okay?
the platform included an affiliate program where people who signed up would make money if they referred more people to sign up. And part of those sign-up tactics involved posting Andrew Tate clips online, specifically ones that would cause controversy. You want rage, you want war. And that's a direct quote. So not only was Andrew Tate's blow up online just a calculated move to funnel people into giving him more money, he was all but paying people to post specifically his most harmful content. Now, Tate later shut down the affiliate program due to mysterious circumstances consequences that we will get into later, but the damage has obviously already been done. Now, even though the psyop to make Andrew Tate famous is over, the real world is still very much a thing. And who better to tell us about it than the man himself?
Pitched battles in which armies go to war with machines of death and destruction is about nothing more than influence.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the everything. I didn't even add anything to the video. It's just like that. So the problem that the real world is attempting to solve is the fact that not enough people know how to escape the Matrix.
Once they can influence you, they can control you. Every single thing that exists out there inside of the Matrix is done so with a purpose.
And how does one escape the Matrix, you might
I didn't miss it, bro. I saw the fucking airplanes.
add? Well, by paying Andrew Tate $50 a month, of course.
This is how I will teach you how to make money in ways you have never heard of before.
Yeah, so these unheard of methods, according to the website, are copywriting, freelancing.
If you're a full ass adult and you get fooled by this, you deserve it. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard not to have that opinion. I try to like silence it inside of me. Every time I see like his biggest dick riders, I'm like, you deserve the financially awful situation that you put yourself in. I don't say it out loud, but I can't stop myself from thinking it. You know what I mean? A lot of them are kids. Nah, man, they're not. They fucking sure are not. No, the kids don't do the Hustlers University shit. The kids just see the TikTok videos and go, oh, I love that. On God, W. It's the fucking dumbass adults who are in a horrifying situation due to capitalism that are desperately looking for get rich quick schemes. You know what I mean?
Stocks, e-commerce, and crypto. Raise a hand for each one of these that you have heard of before. Wait, actually, you probably don't have 5 hands.
The Matrix is cracking. And if you want to escape, I'm waiting for you inside of the real world.
You know what? I'm going to say it. The Matrix ruined a whole generation of men. Y'all took one look at Neo and said, it's me, yo. It's a movie made in Hollywood. Anyway, the first thought that crossed my mind when I first
By 2 trans sisters, by the way.
heard about HU and the real world is that kind of sounds like a scam. Like, considering how shady all of Tate's other online business ventures are, it's kind of hard to imagine that this would be completely on the up and up. But you know what? It could be. Investigating scams on the internet is not my forte, but thankfully it's someone's forte.
Today, I'm getting a PhD from Hustler University.
So CoffeeZilla is a YouTuber known for uncovering scams, and he uploaded a look into Hustlers University from the inside. After paying the $50, he immediately noticed the low quality of both the instruction and the material.
Your instructors have a fraction of the charisma of Tate. You're supposed to commit yourself to these skill sets, which are super surface level.
Andrew Tate making a low quality online course? Who would have thought? I bet this one doesn't even have a whiteboard. So the main issue seems to be a mismatch between how the real world is presented and what actually happens once you're inside the program.
You've been told you're going to escape the Matrix. You're going to take the red pill. But what you end up doing in this course is sort of learning how to run an Amazon side hustle for Jeff Bezos.
Not quite the life-changing information that Tate was making it out to be. In fact, CoffeeZilla points out that while people were making money,
I just want to point this out. Didn't know, didn't sign up for it, and I immediately fucking called it out. Again, 10 seconds is what it took for me to be like, this is drop shipping, cryptocurrency, and copyright bullshit. Which it was.
it's not nearly what you would expect from the way Tate talks about it. Overall, whether or not you'd call the real world a scam
I've seen it
depends
so
on
many
whether or not
times.
you call an overpriced, under-delivering, surface-level course a scam.
This course doesn't seem to be getting people rich. It just teaches lost guys extremely basic skills that are free to learn, but charges them $50 a month for it so they can feel like they're escaping the Matrix by working for Jeff Bezos.
And there you have it. By the way, among the other great information in CoffeeZilla's video, he also brings up a couple of really shady things that Andrew does with the real world members who miss a payment.
People who don't renew, we
They put
don't
them in
kick you
jail.
out. We put you in the jail, and you sit there in your cell, and you have no access to the money-making information, and we just flood you with all the endless wins. Every time someone wins, we show you.
If you took a shot every time this man mentions jail, you wouldn't even be able to make it to the end of this video. Anyway, what he's describing is beyond manipulative and weird. But CoffeeZilla goes into more details about that in his video, and it's a great watch in general, so I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't already seen it. If you have already seen it though, you're actually in great company because Andrew Tate himself not only watched, but reacted to the video. It is exactly what you would expect.
What does he look like?
I don't know.
He looks. Does he? Like a geek.
Oh, he must be then.
These people are in their mid-30s, by the way. But yeah, that's the Real World / Hustlers University / Andrew Tate's latest cash grab. Or at least it's one of them. See, he also has the War Room, which kind of just looks like a fraternity, except it cost $5,450 to join, so there's that. But if that's not enough, then there's also War Plans. War Plans is apparently a platform where you can pay $17 to have someone on Tate's team give you advice for 10 minutes. My first job out of college, I don't even think I was making $17 an hour, let alone every 10 minutes, but I guess that's more so on me for being a gas station clerk instead of a War Plans advisor. Anyway, Tate's page for the War Plans actually started to make me feel a bit sad. I mean, obviously at this point, I was already sad from the manipulation and the misogyny and Andrew Tate's attempts to rap, but at the bottom of that War Plans page, there are a bunch of user submitted testimony videos from people who have given their money to Andrew Tate Associates. And as I watched those, this is where it all really started to sink in. This is all just designed to take advantage of young men at their very lowest points.
I've been dealing with a lot of self-doubt.
I have had no one to talk to.
I feel like I can't get advice from anywhere else.
I was lacking guidance.
I just wanted some guidance that my father is not giving me.
Everything Tate is doing lures in guys who are lonely or lost or feel like they have nobody to talk to. And by the way, if some of them looked really young to you, that's because...
Okay, I take it back. That shit makes me so sad. And then I look at like my immediate blue checkmark reply guys, and I know those motherfuckers are in there being like, Hasan, you're gay! You're gay! Remember when you painted your nails? You're gay, dog! Not me, though! And immediately I'm right back to like, yeah, you deserve being a fucking living just a horribly sad life.
Because they are.
I've just turned 20 2 days ago.
I turn 18 in a year because I'm 17.
I just turned 17 today.
And what are we doing with all of these young, vulnerable people? Why funneling them into a $50 a month course? Or even worse, towards the $5,000 War Room?
And the best advice he gave me was just to join Hustlers University.
I'm gonna save up my income to join the War Room.
How can I optimize my current financial situation in order to be able to pay the fees for War Room?
It's not just the age or the lack of guidance. I heard so much negative self-talk in those testimonies as well.
It's time for me to stop looking like a ragamuffin.
You stop being a bitch. Get my shit done.
I've wasted the past year of my life.
I don't have any real advantages.
I'm weak in my speech. And I'm weak in the way that I carry myself.
If I had to sum it all up in one word, I would say Andrew Tate is preying upon insecurity above all else. Combating the rampant misogyny that Andrew Tate spreads is obviously the main priority, since it's posing a strong and immediate danger to women everywhere by normalizing harmful behavior. In addition to that, I think it's also pretty important to point out that this wave of vitriol towards women is being propped up on the backs of an insecurity epidemic among men. And like, what are you supposed to feel if not insecure when you have men like Andrew Tate calling you a geek or a loser or poor for drinking tap water? Bottom line, there is real desperation here, and it's just sort of sad to see because these people are crying out to the one person on the internet who doesn't actually care about them.
Feels like we're all in the dark somehow.
I know I'm not a nut. I know what's inside me, and I'll die.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. If I... fuck, dude. Okay. Here's some honesty time. Looking at these dudes, man. Looking at these fucking dudes, I see a lot of myself. Okay? I could have absolutely been these guys. 1,000,000%. And I think a lot of young men go through that. They're sad. They're insecure. They're fucking lame. They think everyone's making fun of them. They have social anxieties. And there is so much fucking uncertainty on whether or not you're going to make it. You see all these things online. You see all these things in the movies. Like, these guys are fucking rich. They got babes around them. They got fucking nice cars. And you're like, will I ever get that? Like, I really want that. Will I ever be able to get that? No. And especially if you have a fucking 9-to-5 that you despise. And I certainly had one that I did not have any control, where I did not have any control over my own life, and I hated it as well. It's like a diverging road where you can either realize that there are things that are in your control that you can change about yourself, and truly push to like make yourself a better person and constantly strive to progress, or just take the other side and be like, oh, it's actually the systems that are at fault. And what I mean by that is not like the capitalist system that does legitimately fucking harm you and materially keep you in the place that you're in, but it's systems like feminism. It's the systemic failures of liberalism, progressivism, feminism, all the isms that like make you feel lesser than actually. There's a sense of entitlement that you have as a young man when you're growing up, and when you don't meet that expectation that society has placed upon you in your own mind, you come to that crossroads. Everyone does. I was very fortunate that I had, positive people around me, both in my group of friends and also in like the older people that are around me, that I did not fall down that pipeline. And I'm saying this as like a guy who was a lush, a guy who was literally arrested for like drunk driving, never convicted or charged or anything like that, but I was arrested for it. You know what I mean? And I do see a lot of myself and people giving testimonials like this. Fucked up.
I'll die trying.
And the worst part is, at the end of the day, these people will literally turn around and thank Tate because they think that he is solving the problem that he has created.
Tristan, Tate, good job, guys. Thank you for saving my life.
I guess making money off of incredibly lonely and desperate men via webcams wasn't enough, so he decided to find other methods of doing this as well. If there's a way to even slightly benefit from something negative or wrong with the world, Andrew Tate will figure it out. So yeah, fun. So far, we've taken a look at the worldview Andrew shared via interviews, the perfect storm that led to his TikTok takeover, and the shady online courses that were the driving force behind his completely fabricated rise to prominence. Honestly, if I had to end the video right here, it would kind of be a little depressing because up until this point, he has basically gotten off scot-free with every single thing he's done. But little did we all know that life was about to drop the hammer on Andrew Tate, both online and in a very real way. Andrew Tate and social media bans go way back.
Andrew Tate also knows, Apollinar, you're correct. He knows how to take advantage of lonely guys from all of his many years of like literally copywriting for sex workers online. He knows exactly what to do. Like he was milking sad, lonely men in chat rooms. You know what I mean? And he basically used that transferable skill to keep milking sad, lonely men directly as himself, instead of ghostwriting for OnlyFans models that he was, allegedly sex trafficking.
Back. Remember during the Big Brother days when he came under fire for his tweets? That was just the beginning. He would continue to post awful things on Twitter, getting closer and closer to crossing the line. And then in October 2017, right at the height of the Me Too movement, he just pole vaulted over said line in the middle of an unhinged Twitter rant about how not all of Harvey Weinstein's victims are victims. He says the following: if you put yourself in a position to be raped, you must bear some responsibility. And then he goes on to say, with sexual assault, they want to put zero blame on the victim whatsoever. Yeah, so who's gonna tell them that not blaming victims of assault is kind of the point and the general best practice in this scenario? And better question, what kind of person needs to be told this? Now, if his stances somehow weren't clear.
Bro, he said, I wish I had a father. Tate may be a dick and wrong, but he seems so confident and strong. I understand why people sign up. I can't afford it. Okay, good. It's good that you can't afford it then, because he would lead you astray. You fucking subscribed to me for 23 months. What do you mean you can't afford it? What the fuck are you talking about? I hope you're joking.
Clear enough. He goes on to detail exactly how he would shift the blame onto his sister if he found out this sort of thing happened to her. He follows that up by saying, pretend.
Yeah. Is it a surprise that his sister does not talk to him? Probably not. Not after seeing this, at least.
Pretending women are blameless and men shouldn't rape is stupid. And at that point, even Twitter was like, okay, well, this is obviously a terms of service violation. Let's just call the whole thing.
There's no excuse. A lot of your chat is just like them, but they literally choose to follow weirdos. I'm younger than 99% of his fans, and how am I supposed to feel bad for them when they don't understand the shit Tate says is bad? A lot of your chat is just like them, but they literally choose to follow weirdos. What do you mean? If you follow me, you know, listen, I'm not like gassing myself up here in any way, shape, or form, but yes, if you choose to follow me instead of fucking choose to follow Andrew Tate, you are automatically like 98% better off. Because one, you don't have to pay me $50 at any given point to like get the hidden truths. Like I will tell you, I will probably yell it to you for free. You know what I mean? You don't even have to subscribe. You can just like come in here and say whatever the fuck you want. He literally said girls put themselves in positions to get R-worded. Yeah, no, I know. He is a demon. So I don't know why you would compare that to like people who choose to follow me instead. Natty Codes, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. For the record, I recognize that there's a lot of vulnerable young men and women and MBs in this community. That's why I try to like bear that responsibility and ensure that my commentary is as educational as it is, entertaining. And I try to show you, the best practices, which is why in a lot of circumstances, a lot of my haters will say, oh, he's just saying things that everybody agrees with. It's like, well, why do you hate that then? Like, I don't understand. If you agree with it, why do you hate it? Yeah,
and thus, the Cobra Tate Twitter account was permanently banned. Well, almost permanently. But before we get into that, I do want to point out that Andrew later went on to clarify his positions in those tweets.
I'd like to take this time and explain what I was saying in long format video.
Except for the part where the only thing that he clarified was the fact that he meant every single word, literally.
I was having an argument with a feminist, and she was saying that we need to teach men not to rape. And I said, my dear, I love how idealistic you are, but I am realistic.
I feel like if someone
Is that Patrick Bet David? Hey, I'm Patrick Bet David. Come to my channel. We smoke the cigars. Oh God, I love Patrick Bet David. He's so God, he's my favorite. I've said this before. A lot of Iranian men that live in America are very Cuban coded. I would go so far as to say they're like the Cubans of Los Angeles. Iranians are. Even he is so. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, that motherfucker's Iranian." It's like the Assyrian lion, Israeli coded. His name is very Israeli coded. Yes, Felix called this out. He said it's so fucked up that a guy named Pat Bet David, who runs a company called Valuetainment, isn't Israeli. It's just fundamentally wrong. He's not Israeli. He is Iranian. I've advocated to him that you be on his show. Dude, he is literally, if you've ever been to Miami, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just, you have to have experience with Cubans, okay? Like reactionary Cubans especially, and Iranians, and not everyone has. So I don't know how to describe it. Armenians are Italian and Iranians are Cubans. Ooh, that's a good take. Yes, the Armenians are the Italians of California, and the Iranians are the Cubans of California. Let's get back to the video, though.
Says we need to teach men not to rape, and your first thought is
I have to pee, I'll be back.
I agree, or yes, or so true, bestie. Then you may need to reevaluate some things. But Tate says that we already teach men that, so the real responsibility would be on women to prevent this from happening.
If I were to take $1 million in cash and walk down the street at night in the worst part of town holding it, to a degree, I would have some responsibility. When I got robbed, the police would come and say, why did you do that?
He really thinks he's doing something with this comparison, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes does not apply to assault. Nobody is saying that women should not worry about their safety. We're saying that women should not have to worry about their safety. Being alone, drinking at a club, going home with a stranger. These are not things that should come with the danger of bebeing assaulted.
The smartest thing a woman can do to prevent rape is not to sit here on a podcast and try and change the way men think and talk about your bullshit, but to take some degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in dangerous situations.
Instead of listening to one woman talk about the deep-rooted societal issues that have enabled this culture where women are in danger, he would just rather have her shut up and all women just be a little bit smarter and everybody should be fine. And remember that this is him clarifying his tweets. This was literally his opportunity to not sound like this.
I'd like to think that's a pretty logical point.
I mean, it might sound logical to a rapist maybe, but I, on the other hand, am not really convinced. Anyway, the original tweets were already bad enough on their own, so like I said, Twitter dropped the ban hammer. Now, Andrew Tate would actually attempt to evade this ban several times over the next few years with a handful of accounts, getting so far with the 2021 account that he was actually verified. So you were banned on Twitter. They said that all future accounts you make will be banned. And then you directly reach out to Twitter so that they can verify that you are the person that they banned for making new accounts. But like, it worked? I do not know who's dumber in this case, Andrew Tate or Twitter. Now, this behavior obviously turned a few heads with people wondering why Twitter would ban and then later verify the same individual. But Twitter said in a statement, and
they're so woke, dude. I mean, they're remember, this is woke Twitter, by the way. This is like soy Twitter. They're gay and woke. Yeah.
2022 that Tate's account was, quote, verified in error and has since been permanently suspended. So finally, Tate was permanently banned for real this time. Almost. So a couple months passed, we reached mid-2022, his fans make him famous, got that part. Well, after months of this Tate insanity being flung on every single corner of the internet, it was starting to look pretty bad for the social media platforms where this was all going down. You can't talk about Andrew Tate without talking about how social media platforms not only allowed, but promoted his content as well. So in August of that year, another tech company decided to do something about it. Meta owns both Facebook and Instagram, so they banned him from both platforms simultaneously. They said in a statement that Tate was violating the company's policies on dangerous organizations and individuals, and that the ban was permanent. Now, this caused a domino effect. With Tate officially banned from 3 of the world's largest social media platforms, the others decided that now was the time to follow suit. Just a couple days later, TikTok announced that they had banned Andrew Tate as well. They said that they were not only banning Tate, but using technology to track down re-uploads of his content too, making this a more effective ban than the others. Not that effective though, because I was still flooded with so much misogynistic content on TikTok and I didn't even really have to look for it. But hey, at least they disabled the Andrew Tate hashtag, but only after it had surpassed 13 billion views. Now, there was only one major player left and they were about to make their move. YouTube was the last social media giant to ban Tate from their platform, and they did so very shortly after the others. They pointed out that his content was violating their hate speech policy and that he wouldn't be able to come back at any point. So within less than a week, Tate had gone from being banned on Twitter to being banned on pretty much everything. Tate seemingly knew this was the end of the road too, because the day that Meta and TikTok banned him, that was the day he shut down his Hustlers University affiliate program that made him famous in the first place. At this point, I'm pretty sure the only social media account he had with a following was like on the video platform Rumble. Pro tip, if you're banned on all social media except Rumble, then you should probably just delete your Rumble account too. Even giving up would be less sad than uploading Rumble exclusive content. Though I guess he still had his Vimeo account, but does Vimeo even really count as social media? I honestly have no idea. Anyway, Tate was going out sad, but it was only just beginning. He decided to upload a 1 hour and 13-minute video statement about his ban. And the only word I can really think of to describe it is pain. If there's one thing he really wanted you to know, it's that he's not emotionally affected.
It doesn't emotionally affect me, not negatively affected. It didn't personally bother me. Without being emotionally affected, I don't take any of these decisions personally. I wasn't emotionally affected by this. I'm not an emotional person. I do not do emotional responses. I'm a very logical man. It doesn't emotionally affect me. I really am not the type of person to take these things personally. I am not emotional.
Oof. Another tough watch. This entire video is so hard to get through because it made me realize something. Andrew Tate cannot carry a video by himself. There's a reason that all his other popular videos involve him talking to other people, because if there's nobody there to guide the conversation, he just repeats himself over and over in circles. But regardless, I sorted through the entire hour with all the repetition and rambling, and these were his main points.
Narratives are being purported which are absolutely and utterly false.
So the thesis of this video is that everybody calling Tate misogynistic is actually just lying. Not only that, but the people calling out the misogyny, they don't even care about women, apparently.
None of these people who are attacking me care about women. None of them donate to women's charities. None of them donate to charity like I do.
People like Andrew Tate love this argument. Like, you don't really care about insert marginalized group. You're just calling me out because you like calling people out. The moment someone says that, I'm like, okay, well,
unless you're a leftist, in which case they finally arrived at the truth, which is that charity doesn't mean socialism. Only after they were forced to reckon with that, because they used to say it all the time when I used to do it privately. Okay, and now I've noticed. I don't know if you guys have as well on the internet. All the people that used to say like, "Why doesn't Hasan do charity publicly?" are now saying, "Why does Hasan do charity publicly? For clout." That's the reason. Which, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. We knew that that was going to happen, but now we're there. I called it.
Well, they've clearly been backed into a corner.
I do not like having long-form video of me cut up, elements taken out of context.
Got me there, Andrew. So he's going for the old "I was taken out of context" approach. But as someone who has all of the context, let me tell you, it's not going to save you. I watched all 5 interviews that I pulled clips from in their entirety. I read the entire Twitter thread that got him banned. Heck, I even watched him in Big Brother to make sure I had the full context of how he was acting. And in none of those cases was there ever actually a misleading context. If he said something that sounds shady, then it was shady. We didn't change it to make it sound that way. If it sounded misogynistic or wrong, it was misogynistic and wrong, because Tate continues to be misogynistic and wrong. There is no grand agenda to make you seem worse. You're just already the worst.
It's very, very easy to take 2 hours of video, snip out 10 seconds, edit it up quickly on a phone app, and then blow it up to millions and millions of views with all context removed.
So fun.
It's pretty funny because he told his fans to do it, and it was a very successful way to get famous. And then once he got famous, for the misogyny that he was very directly channeling and very directly telling his fans to repeat, he turned around and got upset at it because people were like, wait a minute, you are a fucking asshole. Fuck you. Ridiculous. Like, NF Gale, thank you for the 5 get the subs, by the way. If I was mad at NF Gale right now for gifting subs at the top of the hour, after repeating it over and over again, I would be fucking ridiculous. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free, or by getting gifted a sub. This is something that I repeat all the time. If I were to turn around and fucking be like, wow, don't give subs, you fucking idiot, you loser, stop it, all of a sudden, you know, it would be analogous to Andrew Tate yelling about this shit. That's right. Here's the 3-minute ad break right now, by the way. Sun Jockey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Blue Wizard Cult, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Fun fact, actually really sad fact, he's the one who told people to do this. The only reason he's famous is because he practically paid people to post short, controversial, rage farming videos in every corner of the internet. Specifically,
how come you never get clipped out of context? Seems to only work on Tate. Wait, what do you mean? Are you serious? You think I don't get clipped out of context? First of all, unlike Andrew Tate, I do quite literally go on 8-hour-long fucking rants. Andrew Tate doesn't really do that. He just like talks for a little bit.
with the intention of increasing his online profile. The fact that he's now complaining about what he asked his fans to do is some pretty spineless stuff.
And this is something that I can't control.
I must have missed the part in the 41 Tenets of Manliness where we're supposed to play the victim instead of owning up and taking accountability, but to be fair, I was barely reading most of those.
I will blame myself for the fact that people have managed to do this to me.
Like, for a guy who talks so much about personal responsibility, it sure does seem to be in short supply. He also has this one line, and y'all don't understand. I am obsessed with it.
If my mentality is so wrong, how have I managed to amass enormous wealth?
How can I be a bad person?
That's awesome. Famously, all the rich people have the right mentality.